evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Drooks Milan Unboxing. And this weekend, Godzilla returns to American shores. And I'm talking, of course, about one of my very favorite fighters in the world, the Japanese phenom, Naoya, the monster Inoue, who will return after his last fight in November last year when he had that magnificent war with Inoue that gave him the WBA title in addition to his IBF and the ring titles at bantamweight, as well as the World Boxing Super Series tournament. He is back in action at the bubble at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. He was going to fight John Riel Casimiro, the WBO champion, but COVID-19 and travel restrictions put at least, let's hope, a temporary damper on that fight. And now he's defending his World Bantamweight Championship against the Aussie challenger, one of the twin drivers, Jason Moloney. Now, besides Casimiro or maybe WBC titleist Nordine Obali, I think Jason Moloney is about as solid a contender as you can get to face Inoue. So the question is it going to be a competitive fight? Does Jason Moloney have a shot? Now, Inoue is no stranger. He's been moved fast in his pro career, won his first world title in only his sixth pro bout, stopping Adrian Hernandez for the WBC light flyweight title, skipped the division, went up to junior bantamweight, destroyed Omar Narvaez, who always goes the distance. He was a very long-reigning champion, a veteran, destroyed him in 2 rounds. And then the World Boxing Super Series, like other stars, Josh Taylor and Alexander Usyk, it really put Inoue on the map as well, because at bantamweight, in the Super Series, he starched Juan Carlos Payano in a single round, took 2 rounds to when he traveled to England to destroy the Puerto Rican IBF world champion Emmanuel Rodriguez. That was also for the ring championship. And then in the final, he added the WBA belt when he went to war with a veteran multi-weight world champion, great Filipino fighter, Nonito Donaire, who seemed to find new lease of life in the bantamweight division. And that was the first time that we really saw Inoue being tested, because he started well against Donaire. Donaire then came back, clawed his way back in the middle rounds. I think around the 9th round, he had Inoue hurt and in serious trouble, tottering on the edge of a stoppage. And then Inoue sort of gathered himself, sucked it up. That's what you like to see in a fighter, come back from that sort of adversity and started fighting back. And it could have very well have been a stoppage in the 11th round when he dropped Donaire with a body shot, but Donaire survived and Inoue had to settle for a decision. And afterwards it came out that during a fight, one of Donaire's punches broke his orbital bone and he had to fight with impaired vision, double vision through the fight. So he overcame all of that. So perhaps a long inactivity from November to Saturday might serve him well for his body to recover from that punishment, because that's a kind of fight that certainly puts mileage on the clock. But I think it's experience that will serve Inoue well. You know, he's such a beautiful offensive technician. All his punches are textbook. He's well balanced. To the body, to the head, throws every punch in the book. Great, nice, solid pole axe jab that he throws, and he's got serious power. 19-0, and I think he's got 16 or 17 knockouts, and he scores those knockouts on a very high level against top class opponents. Now, then on the other hand, we have Jason Moloney. Now, Moloney was also in the World Boxing Super Series. He lost in the first round, his only loss, when he lost a razor-thin split decision to the same Emmanuel Rodriguez in a challenge for the IBF title. Now, he sort of fell behind early, then he scrambled and he came on late. And he almost pulled it off, but close, but no cigar. But I think a great experience for Moloney. He's a guy who can do a little bit of everything. He can move well from side to side. He can fight and he can box a little bit. He has a sort of a bob and weave, almost a crouch when he gets closer. I suspect he's at his most comfortable on the inside, working away. And he's got 18 knockouts in his 21-1 record, but that makes him look like he's a puncher. But those knockouts came against lesser opponents, so I don't think he's in the same league power-wise as that Inoue is, you know. And also what I see about Moloney, he's gutsy and he's sturdy, But it takes a few it takes one or two to land his own punches, and he's not defensively slick. You know, you can hit him. In his last fight in June this year against Leonardo Baez, Baez put hands on him quite often. You know, and he's worlds removed from a guy like Baez. But one thing that Moloney has got going for him is he won't have to worry about ring rust, because he's one of a lucky few that got to fight through this COVID pandemic. So he's got that one thing going for him, and I think the other thing that he must bargain on, or that he might be hoping on, I don't think he counts on it. Fighters don't have that mentality, but that's one thing that he should be hoping for, is that punishing fight against Donaire, if the toll is still there on Inoue, and maybe he'll start falling apart later in the fight. I think if Moloney can hang tough, and boy, he's going to have to hang tough against Inoue. But I can't see Jason Moloney sticking and moving and outboxing Inoue, because he's just not that slick. And I can't see him winning a war of attrition and working Inoue over, you know, unless there's something wrong with Inoue. Inoue is beatable, but he's vulnerable. He is human. He's not only the monster. And Donaire showed us that, you know, you can hit him, you can hurt him, but the thing is, you're going to have to punch hard enough to hurt him. I don't think Moloney hits as hard as a bantamweight version of Nonito Donaire. And the other thing, you know, he squares up when he attacks. So if he does that, he can block, and you can roll with it and time him with punches, you know, like uppercuts and hooks as he comes in and opens up, and counter punching. Then you have a shot. But but you have to be able to take what he puts on you, and that's easier said than done. And I just wonder whether Moloney is really that tough, because to me, Jason Moloney is a very good world-class fighter. If he's got in front of him what passes in today's multi-belt era as an average sort of world champion in the Big Four, he's got a very good shot at becoming a world champion like his brother did. But he hasn't got that in front of him. He's got one of boxing's elite fighters in front of him, which is Inoue. He's in everybody's pound for pound list. Some even have him as number 1, some have him as number 2 or 3 or 4. But he's right up there in the mix of the Canelo Alvarez's and Terence Crawford's of his world. So, Inoue is something special, and I don't think Moloney's got the power, and I don't think he's got the slickness to do it. The gap is just too big. So, I think Moloney's going to be gutsy. He's going to try his best to bring the title back to Australia and score a monumental upset. So, he'll make it a scrap for as long as it lasts, and I don't think he's going to make the fatal mistake that Emmanuel Rodriguez did and just stand in front of Inoue and try and take him out. I think he's going to be a bit side to side, but I think Inoue, when he shakes off the rust and he lands those crushing shots to the body, it's only going to go downhill for Moloney, and I expect around about round 4 or 5, Inoue is going to roll over Jason Moloney and score another one of those spectacular stoppages. But that's why they fight fights. Naoya Inoue is must-watch TV. If you've never seen him, shame on you. You've got to make a plan and watch him on Saturday. But I can't go any other way than going with Naoya Inoue on the stoppage. And but I look forward to see how he's going to do it, and I look forward to see what Jason Moloney can do when he's thrown into the very deep end of a pool. So until we see each other again, please keep those gloves up.